Hi guys, welcome back again to Going to Two. I'm Brian. Welcome to the channel. Today, just have one quick update, really. And today's story will just focus on South Sudan. So some developments have happened, and so this is just that update. And as many of you might already know, and in case you didn't know, South Sudan is a very new country in Africa. As of the 9th of July 2011, they declared their independence from Sudan after many years of civil war. And as a result, South Sudan became its own thing. But South Sudan was plagued with civil wars, which went all the way up to 2013. And all of this pretty much undermined their economic development since achieving independence. So at the moment, South Sudan has been facing economic stagnation and instability within its first decade since gaining independence. Poverty is widespread throughout the country as a result of intercommunal conflict. The economy of South Sudan has a GDP of about $3.6 billion as of 2019, being one of the most oil-dependent economies in the world. So if you didn't know, South Sudan has some of the biggest oil reserves in Africa.
Oil money funds more than 90% of South Sudan's budget, but the ongoing conflict in Sudan has interrupted Juba's crude oil exports through Port Sudan.
For us to depend on oil for a long time will not help us. And for that reason, this time around, we wanted to work on other fronts. But this will not give us quick results. It will not give us quick results. But the most important thing is that we are taking actions towards trying to diversify our economy.
Gum arabic, a dried exudation obtained from the stems and branches of acacia trees, is one of the products the government plans to invest in and export. It is used primarily in the food and soft drink industry. It is also a key ingredient used in printing, paint production, glue, cosmetics, and confectionery.
And that's been the key driving force of the economy, comprising about 98% of the government's annual operating budget. So hence why there's been a lot of, conflict, because, oil is power and power corrupts. So South Sudan is mostly underdeveloped and one of the least developed countries in Africa. Most cities in the country have no electricity, running water, and overall infrastructure is lacking, with only about 10,000 kilometers of paved roads. So the conflict they've been experiencing has obviously hindered their ability to be able to export a lot of this oil they've been producing in their country. As you can imagine, internal conflict and surrounding conflict means that one, they're a landlocked country, and so it makes it very difficult for them to be able to move their products from A to B and sell and create more jobs and generate more revenue. So that's what we're talking about this country today. So some developments happened where the president of Kenya, President Ruto, very much has hosted an event to try and help bring some peace within the conflicting parties within South Sudan, so that they can have peace and prosperity for their people, so that they can finally start to capitalize on all the natural resources they have, including the oil they have and other mineral wealth such as iron ore, copper, chromium, zinc, tungsten, just to name a few things. So please watch these videos and tell us what you think about this topic, because it's quite interesting. And let's get talking in the comments below. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and share this video with your friends and family, because these are important topics for Africa, and these topics will get us all talking and get us all thinking the same way, get us all really wanting to find the best for Africa, for the African people. Thank you. Watch and tell us what you think.
High-level talks for South Sudan were launched on Thursday in Nairobi, with African leaders in attendance calling for an end to the conflict, which has crippled the young country's economy for years. South Sudan's President Salva Kiir, who attended the launch, pledged that his government would negotiate in good faith and with an open mind.
Distinguished heads of state and government, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I would like to thank my brother, His Excellency President William Ruto, for accepting the role of resolving the South Sudan conflict through a mediation effort led by Kenya. The Nairobi peace process led by Kenya helped negotiate the comprehensive peace agreement which ended Africa's longest conflict. That peace led to the independence of the Republic of South Sudan at the end of the interim period in 2011. I am confident that these efforts will yield a similar result as the country prepares for the general election this year. Your Excellency, the peace negotiations I am opening today between the government of South Sudan and the whole-out opposition groups started in Rome 5 years ago under the Santo Egidio community. I must thank His Holiness Pope Francis and the Santo Egidio community for their efforts in trying to resolve the conflict in South Sudan. The current mediation effort led by Kenya will be anchored on a firm foundation laid by the Rome peace process. Your Excellency, South Sudan has some to negotiate in good faith and with an open mind. We hope that the non-secretaries opposition groups have a similar conviction and a desire for peace in South Sudan, which when fully achieved, will bring everlasting stability and economic development in the region, and leave alone South Sudan, but in the region where South Sudan is situated. Thank you very much.
The talks are between the government and rebel groups that were not part of the 2018 deal that ended the 5-year civil war that left over 500,000 people dead. South Sudan is gearing up for its first ever national vote at the end of the year.
We need to leave the mindset of conflict. We need to stop seeing ourselves as enemies. We are brothers and sisters. President Kiir, we are brothers and sisters.
Malawi's President Lazarus Chakwera, Zambia's Hakainde Hichilema, Namibia's Nangolo Mbumba, and Central African Republic's Faustin Archange Touadéra also attended the meeting that took place on the sidelines of an African Union Agricultural Summit in Nairobi.